Hello everyone, and welcome to QQEvolution's webinar for new customers. Today we'll be covering how to log into QQEvolution for the first time. We'll also look at how to create users and how to set up your utilities section. Now if you're new to our webinars, if you notice on the right hand side of your monitor you'll see a webinar panel, and within that panel you have a section where you can type in any questions you may have during the course of our training session today. Now I will not be able to see your question until the very end, but I promise to set some time aside to answer each question directly online. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. And we'll go directly to our desktop here, and as you can see I have my QQEvolution icon. Now in order to sign in for the first time I will need to have my QQ ID number and the QQ password, which is that 8 capital letter password that was assigned to your agency when you first signed on with QQEvolution. Now if you are not the administrator, you will not have this information, so you will either need to have the administrator log you into QQEvolution for the first time or just give you that information. So with that said, let's go ahead and double click on that. Now the first area we'll come to is actually the login area. Now I've already logged into my test database, so that's why my information is already pre-filled here. But if you're going in, you're going to enter as the user. You're going to enter for the first time that you go in there the QQ ID number. Your 8 capital letter password goes in the next section here. Password, and then your QQ user ID number, you're going to repeat that QQ ID number that was assigned to your agency. Once you've done that, you can click on hold on one second. You can click on OK, and you'll be prompted to change your password to a more secured password. Now this is for your administrative login, and the secured password must contain a minimum of 6 characters, one being a capital letter, then a password, one being a capital letter, a number, and then a special symbol like the @ sign, the exclamation point, maybe the number sign or the $sign. Once you've done that and you've clicked on confirm, then it'll automatically update that password information, and you'll be able to actually go into QQEvolution. The first screen that you'll come to when you come into QQEvolution for the first time, or whenever you do any updates, is this What's New screen. And this basically tells you any changes that were done to QQEvolution or any new features that were added to QQEvolution with the latest updates. Once you're done reading that information, you can simply close out of it, and it'll bring you to your dashboard. Now if you look here, I have my tip of the day. That'll give me interesting information of things I can do within QQEvolution. If I do not want to see this every time I log into QQEvolution, I can simply check this box here, or simply close out of it, and then the next time you log into QQEvolution you'll be able to see a new tip. Okay, so this is our QQEvolution dashboard. Just a quick tour. If you look on the upper right hand side, you'll see the quick search, which will allow you to search for a customer with their last name. Below that you have your memo reminders, which tells you how many memo reminders you have for your agency, and the last 6 or the most recent 6 here that you can directly go into. You also have your help and information that will take you to quick links to instant support, training webinars, self-service portal if you want to look at that What's New feature. Also, again, you can take a look at that here. Recent clients. This will show you your last or your most recent clients that you've accessed within QQEvolution, and it'll show you like the 10 most recent clients that you can access again. In the middle of the dashboard, you'll see you have the first area is your to-do list, and if you have a subscription to the QQEvolution Gold package, then you will also have access to the Office Assistant. Now, the Office Assistant allows you to enter calendar appointments, create to-do items that are to-do lists that you can share with other people within your agency. And if you look all the way at the end here under messages, it also allows you to send internal messages to your staff or within your agency. In the middle of the dashboard is the policies that are expiring and that have intent to cancel. Now you can also view these by changing their date parameters. So if I want to see anything for the past 1 day that I have in store all the way to the next 99 days, I can simply change those dates, and here now I'll have anything up to the next 99 days. So I can change these date parameters as many times as I'd like. So if I want to see for the past 2 days to the next 15, I can also do that, and it automatically changes. Now if I wanted to refresh my, my policies that are expiring or intend to cancel, I can simply click on the upper left-hand side here where it says Refresh Dashboard, and it will automatically refresh this information. Now, the last area that we'll look at are clients with X dates. If you have clients that you want to review prior to their renewal, let's say if you have an important account that you want to start working on 30 or 40 days prior to their renewal date, you can set what's called an X date in their client screen that will allow you to do that. It'll set like a reminder, and this is where you could view that reminder date here. All right, on the left-hand side in the blue shaded area, you'll also see the different areas that you can navigate to within QQEvolution. And today we'll go directly into our utilities section. The first area that we're going to come to in utilities is pop-up boxes. Now this is where you're going to set your commissions, you're going to create your agent commissions, your insurance company commissions, you're going to create some lines of business, things like that. Your defaults is where, of course, you'll set your defaults where you can automatically have certain areas within QQEvolution, whether it's the client screen or the policy screen, pre-filled as you go into it. So the first area that we'll look at in pop-up boxes is users. And if you look on the right-hand side, I have a number of users here that have been created with their permission level. So depending on the person's role within your agency, you have different permission levels that you can assign to them. And if I wanted to create an additional user, all I would need to do is go up to User Management. This will take me to the online account management system that is specific to my agency. So if I look under account information, this will give me information regarding my agency, whether it's the shipping address or the billing information. You also have your contact information. Now you can edit this information at any point in time. All you would need to do is just click on any area that has a red asterisk next to it and update that information. Once you're done, just remember to save your changes on the lower right-hand side. Offices, if you are an office that has multiple agencies, then you will see these agencies listed here. It would also tell you what their agency filter is, what their QQID number, their operating state, what their status, and it also lets you know which one is considered to be the main office. Any changes that need to be made to this section, whether you want to add an agency or maybe delete an agency, you will need to contact QQ Solutions for that. Invoices allows you to view any invoices that we have issued to your agency all the way up to the last 3 years. You can view them and print them in a PDF format. I don't have anything here because of course this is a test database, but you would be able to see that information directly here. Now the next 4 areas that we're looking at all pertain to the QQ WebRater program and also the QQ Web Agent, which are not covered in this webinar. So what we'll do is skip right through to user management, and we'll see how to create an actual user. Before I do that, what I want to do is go to Agent CSR, and I want to add this person's name to my drop-down selection that will appear either in my policy screen or my client screen. So whether this person's a CSR or an agent, I would add them directly here. So click on Agent, add their name. if I'm an agency that has multiple offices, I can assign through agency filter exactly where this person is going to have access to or is going to be. So if it's one specific office that they're going to have access to, then I can select that office. Otherwise, I can just leave it at all. Once I'm done, I can click on Add to List. And now I've created that, that agent or CSR directly in this section. Now if I wanted to actually create the user, which means I'm going to create the username and password that would allow this person to sign into QQEvolution as herself, this is the area that you would do it in. You would need to begin at the very beginning. First name, it's pretty straightforward. Anything marked with a red asterisk is a required field. So we'll go ahead and put in the first name, last name, and then the email address is very important also, because at the end you'll be able to send an email to this person with their username and password that you've created for them. Okay, now the username is, you can use any format that you'd like. It has to contain a minimum of 6 characters. So we'll go ahead and type that in now. I'll check the availability, make sure that no one else has that, and of course someone has that. So let's change that information just a little bit. Let's check that. And it likes my new username, so I'm definitely going to keep that. Now my password again needs to be a secured password, so it does have to contain a minimum of 6 characters, one being a capital letter, then a number, and a special symbol. So we'll go ahead and create that information. So if you look right next to password complexity on the right-hand side, it tells me it's a strong password. So I want to go ahead and just confirm that information or that password. All right. Now my next 2 areas, users agent and CSR, are not considered to be required fields, but what you can do is you can assign a default agent or a CSR for this user. So this would associate the username with a specific agent or CSR. If you don't want to do it at this point in time, you can always come back and do it at a later time. And just click on Next to go to the next section, which is where you're going to assign permission levels. Now we have a few to choose from. We have user, which is the lowest permission level that you can assign someone, and the administrator is the highest level. Now we also have a local administrator for those offices that have for those agencies that have multiple offices and they want one specific administrator to have access just to that particular office, you can choose a local administrator as the permission level for that person. User again is the lowest, power user. If you wanted to see exactly what permission level a power user would have, you can click on Application Permissions, and you'll get a drop-down list of all the permission levels that are assigned to power user automatically. Now these are just guidelines that we give you that can be edited by you or by the administrator at any point in time. By just unchecking, let's say if we go to clients here and we see that clients right now, this person would have access to delete clients and we really don't want to give that person that access, we can go ahead and uncheck this. Now when it comes to images, which means attaching images and scanning images within QQEvolution, this person does not have the option currently to add or modify. So maybe we want to give them that option to add, modify, and view. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to just customize this for each individual user. Once you're done, the next step would be to set a default agency. So even if you have one agency, you would need to select that for this particular user. Once you're done there, you can click on Create User. And now it's saving your settings so that it'll give you the option to send that email out. So here you have your confirmation that you've created your user, and now it does prompt you to send that email to that user with their username and password so they can log right into QQEvolution immediately. So go ahead and click on that. Now if you needed to change information for this user, you can also do that. If you go to Edit, Delete Users, this will give you a list of all the users that you've created for your agency. So if we go to the user that we've just created and we click on Edit, this will allow us to edit information we've previously created for them. On the right-hand side, the green trash can would allow you to delete this user completely from your database. So if we wanted to edit, let's click on the pencil, and I can edit any information here. I can change the username. I can also reset a password and maybe assign a user's agent or a default agent or CSR to this user. If I just need to change their permission levels, I can also do that. By clicking on the drop-down arrow, now I can make her an administrator. So if I click on Application Permissions, you can see the administrator can do absolutely everything within QQEvolution. And again, once I'm done, I can click on Modify User, and it saves any changes that I've made. If I don't click on Modify Users and I just simply exit out, it will not save any of your changes. You will need to go back into that user's account and enter that information all over again. The last area that we'll look at in the online account management system is source. And this is where you will enter the source of business that are used within your agency. So how does your agency advertise, or what advertising tools do they use to bring in new customers? So right now I have walk-in, I have website, I have yellow pages. But let's say I also do radio ads. Maybe I want to add that information there. If I have multiple agencies, I can have this available to all my agencies or just one specific. Click on Add to List, and now I'm able to add that information, and I can use this source immediately. I can enter as many sources of business as I want in this section. It's really unlimited. Okay? Once I'm done, I can simply click on Done Adding, and it removes that section there. So in order for me to return to the utility section in QQEvolution, once I'm done here, I can simply go to the lower right-hand side and click on Return to QQEvolution. And as you can see, it takes me right back to my utility section in the pop-up box section. So now I've created my user. I've added her to the to my list of agent CSR, so she will be available in either my client screen or my policy screen. I've also added my source, so as you can see, anything that I've added in the online account management system does carry over to the utilities section and vice versa. Okay, our next area that we're going to look at is agency. And again, this will show you all the agencies that you particularly have with QQSolutions. And if you do need to make changes to this area, you will need to contact QQSolutions in order to do so. This area also will allow you to create agency fees. Now, agency fees are those fees that are charged directly by the agency, not by the insurance company. So if you look on the toolbar right above, you'll have an option for fees. And as you can see here, I have quite a few fees that I've created already. I have an agency broker fee, I have a reinstatement fee, I also have a test and webinar fee that I've created that I can use within my my policy screens if they're applicable. Now if I needed to create additional ones, I can also do that. I can click on Add on the lower right hand side. Maybe I need to create now an MVR fee because I'm going to charge back anytime I need to pull an MVR. I need to charge my customer for that. So I can make it as specific as I want, apply it to one agency or all. I can be specific as to one particular broker, company, line of business, coverage, or business type. So if I just want this to apply to new business, then I can do that, or maybe just to renewals. I can also do that. Otherwise, I can just leave it at all and then enter the amount that I'm going to charge. So maybe I'm charging $10. It's non-commissionable, so the producers would not get any commissions off of any of my agency fees. Once I'm done, click on OK, and now I have my MVR fee that is created. So I can go in and automatically start using that within my policy section, or my policy screen, I should say. If I needed to delete or edit any of the information here, I can also do that. So if I needed to delete this test fee because it no longer applies, I can simply highlight that line and click on delete on the lower right-hand side. Now please keep in mind that anytime you select delete within QQEvolution, it is permanent. So make sure that that's exactly what you want to do. Click on yes, and it automatically removes it from your agency fee section. And that's basically how you would do that. You would create your agency fees. Your lines of business, these are all the lines of business that we populate for you. They are attached to specific ACORD descriptions, so it is very important that you not edit or modify or delete any of the lines of business or ACORD descriptions that are here in this section. You can certainly add to this list and include like an ACORD description, but as far as anything that's currently on here that's already been populated for you, we do ask that you not modify or delete any of this. It's especially important if you're doing downloads, carrier downloads, because those downloads do look for specific ACORD descriptions, and if it's different or the line of business is different, it will, the download will not be able to process. Now if you wanted to create an additional line of business, because maybe there's something here that you write that you do not see, then you can certainly do that. You would click on add at the top of the list, or at the top of the toolbar I should say, and let's say life. We can create a line of business for life insurance. If there was an ACORD description or ACORD form that is used for this particular line of business, I can certainly choose it or select it from here, from my drop-down selection here. Otherwise, you can just leave that empty. Click on Add to List when you're done, and now you've created a line of business. It is listed in alphabetical order. Okay, once you're done, just simply remove that. Coverage. Okay, so coverages, these are also coverages that we populate for you. You can add additional coverage types to this list in the same manner we did line of business. So we added life insurance. Let's say we wanted term life to really make it a little bit more specific. You can leave this available for all lines of business, or you can choose which line of business this is specific to. So if this is specific to life, then you can attach it to that. Click on Add to List, and now we can look at our new addition here. Here's the term life, and here's the line of business it pertains to. Okay, and that's how you would add coverages. Insurance companies. This is where you add the insurance companies that your agency does business with. To add a company, now this section also is where you'll be adding or creating the insurance company commissions that are paid to your agency. We will be covering that in just a few minutes. I'd like to come back to that once we're done with all the pop-up areas. To add an insurance company, just simply click on Add, type in your insurance company name, now if you're using a comparative rater like QQ Web Rater, or if you're in the West Coast and use FSC, you will need to enter a 3-letter or 3-digit code that pertains to this insurance company. If you are doing downloads, here is where the next area is where you would enter the 5-digit NAIC code that is assigned to the insurance company here. If you're not doing downloads, or if you do not use a comparative rater, these two areas, code and NAIC code, do not have to be filled in. You can just totally bypass that. Click on Add to List, and also you've created now your new insurance company. All right. Financing. This is where you're going to list all the types of policies that you sell through your agency. I have currently on my list agency bill, direct bill, and paid in full. Now, if I also work with a premium finance company, I can add that information here, that premium finance company name, so I can use it in my policy screen to identify that it is a premium financed account. And there we are. So now I have that listed in alphabetical order. And again, this is an area that you can just add as many financing types as you'd like. Your optional or additional coverages. These are additional or optional coverages that are sold by your agency. So I have, as an example here, an extended warranty service. Let's say if you also have a type of program that your customers can buy into for gap insurance, you can also add that to the list and include that in the policy screen also. So again, you can add as many as you'd like in this section. Your billing descriptions. These are, well, this is the section where you would enter the billing descriptions for the debits and credits to your agency. This is also an area that we ask that you do not modify or delete any information, just because these billing descriptions are attached to reports within QQEvolution that can be pulled. And if you modify or delete this information in any way, we cannot guarantee that your reports will be able to be pulled accurately. You can certainly add additional billing descriptions to this list. So if I wanted to add, let's say, annual audit premium, I can add that, so now that is available as a billing description. Your additional premium reasons for AP letters, exactly like it says, there are frequent reasons that an insured may get an additional premium charge for. So I have, again, as an example, a youthful operator. So let's say if you have a lot of your insureds that get additional premium charges for maybe an additional violation, you can enter that information here. Or maybe they have additional, or maybe for an additional vehicle that they add. You can add that information to this area also. Your payment types. These are the different payment types that you can use within QQEvolution. This area is considered to be hard-coded, so you cannot add it, add or modify to this section. This is the list that you have available when you're collecting a premium or a payment. Your last area in pop-up boxes is the MGA and broker. And this section is where you would add any brokers that you currently do business with through your agency. To add a new broker, what you would need to do is just simply click on Add, type in the broker's name, click on Add to List to include them, and then what you would need to do is go to the top of the toolbar to MGA Broker Configuration and assign all the insurance company that this broker particularly writes through or writes with for your agency. So if you have several, you can just go down the list and include them. Now you will not be able to, or this, I should say, broker would not be available within your policy screen if you do not assign the insurance companies that they currently write with. So you will need to assign companies before this broker is available within the policy screen. Once you're done, just simply close out of it. And so now, as you highlight the broker's name, it'll show you who he's currently, or who this broker is currently writing business with. So if you look here under this broker, Rob the broker, He has one company. We have this other one also has one company. And there's a few that don't have anything assigned, and so forth. Okay, so that's the last area in pop-up boxes that we have. Now, what we'll do now is cover how to create your agent or producer commissions, also how to assign agency commissions and broker commissions. That's the very last area within the pop-up boxes that we'll cover before moving on to defaults. So the first thing we'll do is look at agent or producer commissions, how to set them up. Now, if you click on the commission section here at the very top of the page and view them in a chart, you'll see all the agents that you've created. So our new broker is Liz Rodriguez. Now, as you can see, the names are always repeated twice. This is purposely done because you have one line for agency commission, and then you have a second line for any agency fee commissions that this particular producer or agent can be eligible to receive. Okay, so if we wanted to set up just for agency commission, we can double click on that producer's name, and as you can see, it's grayed out, so I can't change the name. So we are going to create this producer commission for our new agent, Liz Rodriguez, and we can make this as specific as we want by assigning by MGA or broker, by company, line of business, coverage. Now when it comes to business type, we can also choose to have this apply to all business types, which means if the same commission will apply to new business, renewal, and rewrites. Or I can go in and just individually assign them if they have different commission structures for different business types. So if I want to select new business, and I'll have it calculated by agency commission, and it's a percentage, I can put in, let's say, on any new business, they get 50%. Okay. So now I've created a new business commission for this producer or agent at 50%. Now, if I wanted to create a different agency commission structure for, let's say, renewals or rewrites, I can also do that. I can select to duplicate this information, and all I need to do is just change this to renewal, set it to either agency commission or calculate by premium and fees, insurance premium and fees, I mean. I can also choose to have this either set by flat rate or by percentage. So we'll leave it at percentage, and we'll say they get 20% on renewals. We click on OK. Now you can see we have a commission structure for this agent at 50% on all new business that they write and 20% on renewals. All right, and that's basically how you would set up your producer or agent commission. Insurance company commissions. If we go back to the company that we just created and we wanted to set let's say agency commissions for this particular company, we can do that. We can either view it in a chart, or we can view it specifically for this company. If you look, we have the first area that we're going to look at is the line of business. Now we would choose what line of business this particular company works with or writes with. So right now it defaults to auto, but if you have a company that you write multiple lines of business, you would need to select each one and set up the commission, even if it's the same commission percentage for each one. So if we start off with auto, and the coverage type will leave it all, the premium sent is our next area that we'll look at, and this just basically tells QQEvolution how the agency commissions are paid to you. So if it's net, it means that the premium is sent to the company less your commission. So you're already retaining your commission. Gross means that the insurance company is sending you a check for your commissions in one payment. So they're paying those commissions up front. Monthly means that the commissions are paid to your agency on a monthly basis as earned. So in this case, we'll leave it at gross. And then if you look on the lower right-hand side, we're going to select agency commissions and enter the percentage for new business. So if I get, let's say, 15% on all new business, and that's regardless of whether it's annual or semi-annual, I can leave it at that. But let's say on new business, I only get maybe 10%. I can also edit that information. If I don't write 3 months policies, I can simply zero that information out, so I don't have to have anything in there. If the company charges a policy fee on new business, I can enter that information here. So maybe they charge a $15 policy fee. I can enter that information here. Let's say they don't charge anything, and we'll fix that. There we go. Let's say on renewals they don't charge a policy fee, so we can zero that out. Okay, so that means that under a new policy fee would only apply to new business. Okay, if there are additional company fees that apply that I know this particular company applies, then I can also include them. If I click on company fee at the bottom and I click on add fee, you'll see I have a drop-down list of all the fees that I can choose from. Now in Florida we have the Florida Catastrophic Hurricane Fund fee that is applied to all our policies, and it's a percentage based on the base premium. So I can automatically have that included and add the exact percentage. Now if this were a flat rate, I can also create it or select flat rate. Once I'm done, just click on OK and it adds that automatically. So whenever I enter a new policy with this particular company for auto, it automatically would apply these two fees and calculate them. Okay. When you're done, just simply click on Close. Now if I also write a homeowner's policy, well, I need to set up those commissions also. So I would do the same thing. I would select the line of business. If it applies to all coverages under homeowners with the same percentages, I can leave it at that. I would select gross, which is how my agency commissions are paid, and then I can enter maybe the information here, the commission information, and so forth. And that's how you would create your agency commissions. Now if there are additional company fees that you would like to see in that drop-down selection, what you can do is once you're at an insurance company here, you can go into fees and create your own. You can even edit the information that you see here. So if I wanted to create a special fee that I know the insurance companies apply, maybe it's a webinar fee, I can do that. I can also say it's going to be a flat rate. I can choose to enter the amount right now, or if I need to just enter that as I go along in the policy, because it varies depending on policy type, I can leave it at 0. Otherwise, I can put a specific dollar amount. Click on OK, and now I've created my webinar fee. So if I wanted to add that, I can go back to the insurance company under company fee configuration and add this particular fee to all the policies. Okay. Now there's one other area that we need to cover under insurance companies, and those are tiers. How do you set up a company commission or agency commission based on tiers? And what that basically is when your agency commissions are based on the premium that is the policy premium. So if we need to do that, what we would do is click on Add, enter the first maximum tier amount for the premium. So let's say it's anything up to $2,000. And we'll say that anything up to any policies written with a premium of up to $2,000 is 20%. Okay, anything above $2,000 up to a maximum of $5,000, maybe it's 30%, and I just can keep on going. So if I want to look at my tier that I've set for any premium up to $2,000, I see that there's a 20% commission, agency commission due. And I can also see anything above $2,000 up to a maximum of $5,000 is going to be paid on an agency commission of 30%. So that's how you would set up tiers. Okay, simply go out of there. Broker commissions, you would also set up in the same manner. Select your broker, double-click on your insurance company, and this is the commission box that is specific to that broker for this particular company. So as you can see, it's the same as the insurance company. The only difference is it's specific to the broker. So you would just follow the same pattern. Defaults is our next area that we're going to look at, and this is where you're going to enter any information that you want to see pre-filled within the client screen or the policy screen. So the first area, entry, will allow you to enter any information for that will be listed in the client screen, and it's mostly the most frequently used area codes, language, policy period, city, state, or zip code. The next area that you would look at is the Accord forms. You can scan and save your signature within your computer and then come to this section to attach them and save them within QQEvolution. What you would need to do is just make sure you sign on a blank sheet of paper, your name, scan it, and save it to your computer. You can save it in a folder, save it to your desktop. Then you would come here, browse your computer, select select it from wherever you have it saved. Okay, you can name your computer, or you can name your signature. And now that's my signature that I could use. Now if I wanted to delete that signature, I can also do that. The only time you cannot delete a signature from this section is when it has already been applied to an Accord form that is saved within QQEvolution. In that case, what you would do is just make it inactive. So you could just uncheck that box. Otherwise, you can simply go in and delete that information. If you are using Outlook to email, you can also email from QQEvolution. Just simply go to Email Options and click on the first two boxes. This would allow you to email directly from QQEvolution. You can also include an email signature. Okay. The next area is just simply straightforward yes or no questions of what you want QQEvolution to do. So if you want it to ask for a policy when attaching images, definitely check that box. If you don't want to see the tip of the day when you start up in the morning, then you can uncheck that box. All right. If you want to check for newer versions for QQEvolution on a weekly basis, you can leave it at that. I think it always defaults to weekly. Or you can change it to daily or select whenever it's available. The next area that we're going to look at is letters, and this will allow you to automatically generate a receipt when performing a certain action within QQEvolution. So when you're receiving and recording a receipt within QQEvolution, if you have a down payment receipt letter that you've created, or maybe you want to choose it from one of the ones that we've created for you in the drop-down selection, go ahead and do that. You can select it. You can also do the same thing when you're receiving a payment or when you're creating an agency bill. Okay. You can also number your receipts. You would just enter the number you'd like to start off with, and this QQEvolution would add it from there. The additional premium info section, this allows you to choose which AP letter to send out when there's an additional premium due. So if you have an additional premium of more than $50, let's say, you can choose which additional premium letter to choose from. Now we do have quite a few that we've created for you, but you can also go into QuickWord and create your own. The letter default, this area pertains to the letterhead that gets printed on all the correspondence from QQEvolution. And what this allows you to do is choose the font size. So right now it defaults to font size 10. If that is too small, you can also increase that either to 11, 12, or 14. If you have your own letterhead on your own stationery that you want to use, you don't want to use our agency letterhead, then what you can do is select None and use your own. Addressee, this pertains to the insured's address that gets printed on QQEvolution on the correspondence. So again, this pertains to the font size. You can choose to leave it at 10, or if you'd like it a little bit bigger, you can go ahead and change that information. Now the date on the letter, this area allows you to choose on which side of the correspondence you want to see that date printed and how. So if you choose left or right, it'll put that date on either side in numerical format. Detailed, this will print out the month, the date, and then the year and place it on the left-hand side of the letter. You can also add how many days the insured has to reply to your correspondence. The next area that we'll look at is select default invoice. So you can print invoices from QQEvolution, and this area allows you to choose from 4, and we always recommend that you use the first one on the right hand side, just because there's more information that can be added to this section. If you have your own logo saved on your computer as a bitmap, you can also attach it to the correspondence and use that instead of the letterhead within QQEvolution. So this area kind of tells you how it needs to be saved within your computer, and also the size restriction. So you would go here. Once you've done that, you can come here to select a logo to attach and browse your computer to attach it. Same thing for the footer. This allows you to select or to add your logo as the footer of your correspondence, or you can include, let's say, a text. So right here I have an example. I have it checked off here on this box, and I typed in "Thank you for your business." So that will be printed as the footer on all the correspondence from QQEvolution that I send out. The client screen. This area allows you to set default parameters that will help you maintain your client information. So if you look at show account receivable balance on the client screen, this will show, if you select that box, you'll be able to see any account receivable balances that are due for that particular account. If you select add new clients as prospects, this allows you to add any new clients first as prospects. So if you are just collecting the information and sending out for quotes, you can have it already in QQEvolution, and once they bind coverage, you can switch them over to active clients. The add new client as will default automatically to either a personal line screen or a commercial line screen, depending on what you write the most. So right now I have mine defaulted to a personal line screen, but if I'm in there and I'm entering a commercial account, I can always switch it on the client side. And vice versa. If I write more commercial business, I can have it automatically defaulted to a commercial lines account, or screen I should say. I can choose to set a client number, or set client numbers if I want to keep track of my clients by numbering them. This kind of gives you here under example a description of how you can create it by setting a prefix, then creating the number and the suffix. Your list of phone types allows you to add additional phone types that you would like to see within the contact section of the client screen. So if I want to add additional numbers or additional phone types, let's say a Skype number, I can do that. So here's my additional Skype number, and I can just keep adding to this area. Okay, your policy screen. This area also allows you to set defaults on how the policy screen will act in certain situations. I can ask it to create a company or credit to the company after entering the premium, or I can ask it to automatically jump to the premium issued after the policy number is entered. So I can do that also, or I can just leave these areas unchecked. Your dashboard tab allows you to customize how your policies of interest or policies expiring and intent to cancels are going to be sorted. So right now I have them sorted by client name. I can also change that and have them sorted by line of business, maybe by date or policy number. So maybe I want to change that to date. So I have them sorted by date. I can also choose to have them in ascending order or descending order. If you look right below inactivity log off, this allows me to set a timer if I want to my QQEvolution program. So if I wanted to automatically log me off after 30 minutes of inactivity, I can set that time there. So if I'm away from my desk or if I leave the office and forget to log off, after 30 minutes it'll automatically log me off. Otherwise, if you're not interested in that, just leave it at never. Now again, if you have the gold subscription, you'll have access to the QQEvolution Office Assistant. And if you wanted to automatically load when you log into QQEvolution, you can check this box so it would do exactly that. All right, that pretty much covers defaults. The next area that we'll look at is client maintenance, and this just allows you to set parameters that'll help you maintain your client files. So if you look here, it's automatically going to default transfer, and it gives you an explanation of what this would actually do. So it tells you that this will transfer active clients to inactive if all the policies are expired. So if you set the date parameters, you can do that. So if you have accounts that are still considered to be, or clients that are still listed as active, but all their policies have expired or canceled, what it'll do by setting the date parameters here that you enter, it'll find all those customers that have that information in your QQEvolution like that, and it will transfer them out of your client's account and into our database so that you don't see them. They're not lost because you can always retrieve them through our database. But that's what this section is for. You can also choose to pull a list and review that before you actually transfer them. Delete means that those files would be deleted permanently from your database. So you would absolutely want to see a list if you're going to do that. To just make sure that that's exactly what you want to do. And the same thing for prospects. This will allow you to set date parameters to clean up your prospect files. So if you have old prospects that are maybe 2 years old or so, and you want to just get them out of your database because you know you're not going to contact them, then you would enter your date parameters here, pull a list just to make sure that everyone's there that needs to be there, and then delete the prospects. All right. The last tab that we're going to look at is just agency info, and this allows you just to review your agency information that we have for you. And again, if you needed to change this information, let's say maybe the phone number has changed or the email address needs to be changed, you can go into the online account management system and change that information directly there. You don't have to call us. You can do it directly from the online account management system. Now the very last tab that we have is real-time setup, and this area we do not cover within this webinar. And if you want additional information regarding that, please feel free to contact our product support department. All right? So that concludes our webinar for today for our new customers. I will open it up to questions. And hopefully I have some. So if you do have questions, please feel free to type them in.